I don't know whose idea it was to give me an open mic. For those of you that don't know me, you'll quickly understand why. For those of you who do know me, you already know why. My name's Hunter, and I've been Chode's best friend since high school. I've known this man for 10 years, and let me say, being Chode's best friend is kind of like being a co-captain of a ship that never had a map. But man, what a ride it's been. From totaling a car in a church parking lot, sorry, Holmstrom's, to running from the cops in the early morning hours. We've done it all. And through every bit of chaos, Chode's always been there. He's the guy to make sure you've got a ride home, something to eat, couch to crash on, and someone to blame when things go sideways. We used to force his poor older sister, Kelsey, to drive us to lunch every day in high school. Kelsey hated it. We loved it. And his poor mom, Kelly, had to double the Costco trips, constantly wondering, how could two teenage boys eat enough food to feed a small army? But here's the thing about Cody. Underneath that mountain of a man is the softest and biggest heart. He's loyal to the core, and he's the guy that would take the shirt off his back for you. He's done it for me more than once. And I couldn't have asked for a better brother to grow up with. Joe, you've been there for it all. And then there's Gretchen. I mean, look at the bride, guys. Come on. Come on. Man, did you score. Man. She's sweet, caring, hilarious, and absolutely terrifying when there's a board game on the table. Don't let that innocent smile fool you. She will do whatever it takes to win at Settlers of Catan. And let's be clear, Gretchen. You have to cheat to even stand a chance against me. And somehow you still come up short. But honestly, watching you and Chode gang up on me, try to take me down, has been one of my greatest joys, because I win every time. But beyond the ruthless board game tactics, Gretchen is the best thing that's ever happened to Cody. She makes him shower regularly. He is now eating real food. And he's even learned how to fold laundry on his own. But more importantly, she's made him happier, stronger, and somehow even more of a man than I've always known he could be. Together, Cody and Gretchen are perfect. You can see in the way that they look at each other, the way they support each other, and the way they pretend to not be keeping score on who wins a game night. So please, everyone, let's raise a glass to loyalty, to love, and to two incredible people who make each other better every day. Here's to Cody and Gretchen. May your life together be full of adventure, laughter, and just enough chaos to keep things interesting. Cheers.
And I have the honor of being Gretchen's best friend. We've already started. Gretchen and I just look at each other in a certain way and we'll start crying. We met back in 2014 in the Bryan High School gym for freshman volleyball tryouts. We've been inseparable since, except back then she still had her baby fat, and I looked like a calf that was learning to walk. But in my opinion, that awkward stage that apparently doesn't exist in kids nowadays was crucial for our character development, because I may be biased, but I think we're pretty damn funny. But can we all agree that her glow was absolutely crazy, because she is one of the most gorgeous women I know inside and out. As we've grown up together, we have morphed into the same person. I'm just the dark mode version, or the dark twin as Gretchen's coworkers called it. We like the same foods, music, shared closets, drive similar cars, both work in the energy industry. She's the easiest to buy presents for because I just think, what would I like? And then I give it to her. Don't know how I got blessed with the most perfect being as my best friend, because I truly don't know what I would do in life without her. Gretchen's one of those people that everyone loves, and for good reasons too. She gives the most genuine, honest advice, and I think has saved us all thousands in therapy. She's fiercely loyal and would go to war for her loved ones. She never lacks on effort and goes above and beyond. She flew across the country for less than 48 hours to be with me after I moved and when I didn't know anyone, and that to me just speaks volumes on who Gretchen is as a person. She's the mom of the group, can plan a mean girls' night with no detail missed. I mean, look at this wedding, not a detail was missed. And she's on top of everything all the time, except for that one time we looked out the window to see her mid-breakdown over her broken eggs in the driveway. But we won't talk about that. And my personal favorite trait of hers is that she will never say no to a trip. I also had the pleasure of living with Gretchen and Cody for a year. A unique perspective, and you may think that was the ultimate third wheeling setup, but if you ask Cody, I think he'd agree I wasn't the third wheel in that situation. But in that year of Cody living with Gretchen and I see Cody in a different light. He went to being my best friend's fiance to a brother, which naturally occurs after being mooned on various occasions. Cody is a very, very patient man because I can only imagine how annoying we are. But he tolerated the Barbie movie sing-alongs and joined in the hours, I mean like 6-hour-long girl yap sessions. He joined in, mind you, seamlessly. We were a big old family, me, Meatball, and our parents, as they're old and go to bed at 8:30, made me dinner, listened to all my dating dilemmas, and would only fight on the various occasion of an intense Settlers of Catan game. And the fact that Hunter and I both brought that up means that it's serious. You guys do not want to see these two playing a word game. And Gretchen's good at Catan. But in all seriousness, I witnessed firsthand the beautiful love that they share for each other. They have the healthiest way of communicating and caring for each other. They've already got the marriage compromise locked down. Is it balanced compromise all the time? No, but hey, Cody, at least you have your Legos displayed. They may be in a closet, but they're displays. They just don't match the aesthetic of the house, but you get that. Cody may look big and intimidating, but loves Gretchen in the most gentle, kind way and balances her type A personality beautifully. Cody, you are one lucky man because I know I've been nothing but blessed to have Gretchen in my life. She will be the best wife, mother, and companion, so I'm happy to officially retire you as the third wheel. But let's get one thing straight, Gretchen. You can't say you're marrying your best friend, because that's not true. We all know what that C around your neck means. So let's raise a glass and cheers to our favorite mom and dad.
So I'm thinking we could just be done, start the dancing and really enjoying things. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry, but here we go. I can't look at her. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for being here to celebrate this beautiful couple. I know some of you have traveled a long ways to be here. And I just want to say this really, really goes to show how much people love Gretchen and Cody. Love that. You can just feel the vibe in the room. I want to thank Cody and Gretchen for their love and support. Two amazing people who found each other, fell in love, and are a complete power couple. I love you both very much. Blessing and a privilege to be Gretchen's mom. For those of you that know my mom, who is no longer on this earth, it's Gretchen. Gretchen is so much like my mom, and I love that about Gretchen. Okay. So sorry. can't even read this. I have loved looking back on Gretchen's life and her achievements. And as I looked back on all her little scrapbooks, this all goes back to elementary school, even before. She has just always been highly motivated and just set goals and achieve them. Yeah. Okay, I found a prediction that she wrote as a 5th grade assignment. And it's really cute. So her prediction for the year 2030 is that she will be married, have three kids. She also wanted to own her own restaurant. This is how she worded this in her assignment. I will want to teach my own kids how to cook because it's a great life skill. 5th grade, you guys. Okay. I also will have graduated from college. She did that. Check. Honestly, I think her greatest achievement is sitting next to her. Finding Cody. Her one true love and her Prince Charming. To become partners in this life and beyond, to grow in love together and becoming a family today. I want to also thank today Mike and Kelly for raising such a great man in Cody. I have a little Irish blessing for you. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. Another quote for you. May you find constant reward and challenge as you pursue the ongoing adventure of learning who you are and where you want to go. May your future be as bright and beautiful as the persons that you are. May you be filled with happiness, inspiration, and confidence in each other. I say never keep secrets. Speak kindly, hug and kiss before parting. Snuggle together, focus on the future. Keep your promises. Admit when you're wrong. Remember why you fell in love. Encourage each other and say, I love you every day. So I'm going to end this with a marriage prayer. Lord, help us to remember when we first met and the strong love that grows between us. Help us love in practical ways that nothing can divide us. May our words be kind and our thoughts gracious. May we remain humble enough to ask for forgiveness and wise enough to freely give. I love you both. Here's to Cody and Gretchen.
Hello, I'm Brandon, Gretchen's older brother, but not by a lot, just under 2 years. And to me, it's always felt like we shared a large majority of our childhood together. And I always think of sitting in the back of our family minivan on many family road trips, and I always got stuck next to her in the back seat. Whether it was to Jackson or St. George, I knew I had to sit next to her with her sprawled out and her feet in my face. It's a true honor to stand here and celebrate Gretchen and Cody today as they start their new chapter. And when I finally sat down to write this speech like 2 days ago, it hit me that this is the last wedding for any of my sisters, so that was weird. And it's the only one where I've been allowed to speak at, so thank you. And writing this, I was like, how am I supposed to sum up like 25 years of memories in like 4 minutes? So this is my best attempt. Growing up, the two younger siblings, we shared a lot. Arguments in the backseat of the minivan. Most of our time in school, she was right behind me and always showing me up. So that was really fun. And a lot of well-timed eye rolls between the two of us. We teamed up together to make potions in the bathroom and to try to get our parents to take us out to get a treat or just out of the house. But Gretchen had to do convincing because we thought it was more likely they'd say yes. And we were right. We were very right. We got booted from hanging out with our older sisters, and then after which I would do the same to her. So sorry about that. You had to endure driving to school in the mornings with me and whatever music I was obsessed with, I'm sure you loved. And then after school, I dragged you around and around the parking lot blasting music instead of just taking you home. And we even lived close by when we were in college and partying a little too hard, except I never threw up in an old Beans and Brews cup after drinking an IPA. So, regardless of whether we're getting along or not, Gretchen's always been there. She's been steady and loyal, especially when it really mattered. There are a few things I've never said to her that I'm going to say now. I've never admitted how close I think we actually are, and also how much I admire her. She's headstrong, extremely driven, and doesn't take any bullshit, especially from me. Smart, strong, and cares deeply. And I think there's something quietly powerful about watching someone you've known your entire life step into the person they've always meant to be. It's not about grand gestures, but the honest ones. A room full of people that care, a few laughs shared, and that deep, steady feeling that this is exactly where things should be. Cody, you're a lucky guy, and Gretchen is too. Anyone who's seen the two of you knows how well you two balance each other. You make her laugh, make her feel seen, and meet her where she is. It's been a pleasure getting to know Cody. It always makes my day when we get to team up and tease her. Just a little bit. And you've had the last few years to find a place in our family, and it didn't take long at all for you to fit in. And it's been very easy welcoming you in and saying how happy you make Gretchen. I don't have a cup, but this part. To Gretchen and Cody, take care of each other, keep laughing, keep listening, and may your life together be full of good food, patient conversations, and quiet mornings. And may your love feel a little like those days in the back of the minivan. Tight quarters, plenty of bumps, and somehow the best seat in the house. Cheers.
Okay, this is. I have not cried over you 26 years. Now it's 3 times in 3 days. I've sworn at you a lot. Okay. I have had a really great experience the last couple days because I've learned some things. Well, I've learned a lot of things. The wedding ceremony, I hear people say that Cody's the calm one. Talking to friends, Cody's the calm one. That's not the kid I had in my house. So I had initially done the thing called the firsts. Cody was the first to, once he learned how to walk, the next thing was to learn how to climb up the outside of the stairs up the banister. And then wave to you as you walked underneath him and tried to figure out how to get him without having him fall. Just after that was that he learned to use his big toes. I think if any of you know him, he's got monkey feet. To strategically use them to go up the cabinets in the kitchen in order to get to the things that Mom tried to hide from him. Then later I found out that he had a friendship kind of get altered because he took a very prim and proper friend and started jumping off our upper balcony in our house into our couches. And that friend happened to tell his mom, and Cody was unfriended. Then there's things like the fact that we would go to church with the Holmstrom family. And initially it was put Cody between Josh and Eric because that kind of calmed things down. It turned into a 4 or 5 year experience where everybody in the church knew, don't touch the bench, that's where the Holmstroms and the Chases go, and we never knew who sat where. It just happened. Those two also helped Cody start a lot of things where police sirens and police lights happen. I remember one night, I gotta make sure I don't say the one that Kelly's gonna say. I was sitting in the living room, I think you were about 12, 14, sitting in the living room reading a book, and it's about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I see red and blue lights flashing outside my house. So I go outside, and there's a cop, and there's some of you, and there's him standing on the side of the road, and there's some neighbor girls that I can see across the street hidden in the bushes looking out at the cop. And as I walk up to the cop, he informs me that they had been doing the fake rope thing across the road, but that wasn't the reason he and the K-9 unit and the other unit all converged on our neighborhood. They decided to take a traffic cone that they found and go to a house of someone they didn't know, family we didn't know, and doorbell ditched him. So they doorbell ditched him and left the cone. Then they doorbell ditched him and they took the cone. Then they doorbell ditched him and they put the cone back up again. And that's when the cops showed up. And the cop said to me, if you're here to try and get involved, don't. And I looked at him and I said, just understand that if you arrest that one, we're not coming to pick him up. And he responded with, well, it'd be a good idea if you went back in the house because the head officer was coming over to talk to these children, and she wasn't a very nice lady. She wasn't, was she? No. Then I'll end with just 2 real quick things. First one was, well, tied to this. Anyone that knows our family knows that our children tend to date for 6 or more months before they dare bring that significant other into our house. I don't know if we're that scary or toxic, but I know he did it. I know she did it. I don't think you did it. But others have done it. So there's a fear of probably me. But the first experience that I had was Cody sent me a text message. And he said, hey, Gretchen's parents say that there's something in their house that smells like it's on fire. Could you go check it? It's behind the fridge. So I said, okay, I'll go on my way home from work. What you have to know about, I have 5 children. My level of social communication with my children is they text or call if they've wrecked something, if they need something, or, well, gratefully, they never did call about going to jail. We had a rule at age 16 about that. So my first experience of meeting Heidi was from behind her refrigerator in her kitchen when I went to help find out what was the smell. And I squoze myself back behind the refrigerator, and she starts going off. She starts going off and says, "I have to thank you so much for Cody." And I said, "What?" And so she went on and she said, "I'm assuming that you were introduced to her about 6 months before it was reciprocated, so there was a relationship there." And she said, "Cody is such a blessing to Gretchen." I again responded, "What?" And remember, I'm in this little cubby hole with a refrigerator, and she's out talking about this. And the next thing she says is, "He is the greatest gentleman I have ever met. He opens every door for her. He's very gracious to her," and a couple other things. And at that time, I stuck my head out from behind the refrigerator and said, "Are we talking about my Cody?" That was when I knew somebody had changed his life. Actually, from what I've found in the last 2 days, she didn't change her life. She brought it out of what was inside you that you didn't share with many people for a long time. And I'm glad that you're sharing it now. Last little quick story is my first experience with Gretchen wasn't even me being involved, but it was some of you were involved in lacrosse. Jake was going to state, and so he decided to get all the boys to come to our house and go in the backyard and do all the fancy hairstyles, because my wife had all the tools of destruction to carve all sorts of things into kids' hair and heads and everything. So the story that I hear secondhand was there were a lot of cars outside the house. Gretchen showed up to find Cody, must not have paid attention to the fact that his car wasn't there. Let herself in, went through the house, out into the backyard, and into 17 or 20 teenage kids who all went and started talking amongst themselves. The story I heard was you kindly, quietly left, and that Cody, who was coaching these kids, caught a lot of ridicule for quite a bit of time. Most of them were saying comments like, "How does somebody like you get somebody like her?" And then I find out today that she found him. So I hope to continue to learn a lot from you two. You have definitely changed each other's lives from what I've heard and what I've seen. I'm grateful to be your dad. I'm grateful to be your dad. And I'm excited for my 3 grandchildren in the next 5 years.
Whew, I think I got cheated to be the last one.
Save the best.
Yeah. Oh boy. Thank you all for being here. for Cody and Gretchen's special day. I guess I get to share a little bit about Cody. Cody has always been on the move. Ever since when he was little, he crawled early, he walked early, and after he started walking, he was running full speed. He was nothing like his big sister, Kelsey. He does not like to sit still for long, and I'm sure all of you guys know that. When Cody was about 18 months old, I was in the kitchen doing dishes, and he was running around the kitchen with a ball, throwing it, and was so happy. And it ended up rolling under our kitchen table. Cody had to figure out how to get that ball. So he proceeded to move the chair out, and I saw this little light bulb turn on, and he climbed on top of the chair, and then on top of the table, and then he clapped his hands and touched the chandelier. And I could not get to him fast enough because he grabbed that chandelier, lifted his feet, and it swung and came back and went forward, and the whole thing came out. And Cody was on the table, and I just stared and thought, oh my gosh. I had to call his dad and say, guess what you get to do when you get home? Stop by Home Depot and get light stuff and stuff to repair the ceiling. I knew that was the beginning of many, many adventures of Cody. When Cody was 4 years old, we were at Mike's brother's wedding, and he was running around in this cute little tuxedo with a white shirt on, and that dang shirt was always out. And I kept tucking it in. About the 8th time I said, Cody, what is up with your shirt? And Cody looked at me and said, it's tucked out. He looked at me and ran out. Wow, that is something. That kind of explains Cody in a lot of ways. He's very adventurous, and he's just a little bit tucked out. But that is what I love about Cody. Sorry. Besides his contagious laugh that makes you laugh with him, and his willingness to help out all the time. Cody was lucky enough to have some amazing friends growing up. Whether it was playing sports together or just hanging out, they were all a really solid group of friends and had each other's backs. When they were all in high school, almost all of them had Jeeps. Probably not smart as parents.
Definitely not smart.
Well, one summer they had their tops off, and they decided to drive around the neighborhood shooting each other with airsoft guns and yelling gang signs at each other back and forth. Well, a neighbor heard them and was really concerned, and I believe it was Cody and Josh that drove back to Holmstrom's because they were out of bullets. Meanwhile, the others were in the park, and as Cody and Josh walked out of Holmstrom's house, there was red and blue lights. the policemen asked them what was going on, if they had guns, and were shooting each other. And Cody, being as funny as he is, started laughing, and he said, "What? Airsoft guns? Come on over here," and showed him. Well, the cop said, "Well, you need to come down to the park with us." And as they got there, all of their friends were sitting on the curb with their hands behind their backs. And Holly was yelling at them, the cop that we did not like. Cody. I'm so proud of you. Sorry. And I am so lucky to be your mom. And I'm so excited to watch you and Gretchen build a life together. Gretchen, you have made Cody a better person. And we are so excited to have you as part of our family. We love you both so much. And I don't have a cup either. Thank you. Hello. We're going to keep this short, but thank you all so much for being here. Obviously, everyone had to travel at least a little bit, whether it's a 2.5-hour drive or a 5-hour flight. We love you guys. I feel so lucky to have the best people in the world.
Yep.
I truly feel that the people that are here have shaped me into the person that I am and us into the couple that we are. So thank you for your love and support. And I will let Cody take it.
Well, again, everything she said, put it twice. Seriously, thank you guys for taking the time and coming up here. It is a little bit out of the way, so we really do appreciate it. Every one of you that's here has had some sort of impact on us at one stage or another, and we love you all, and we're very appreciative, and we would really love for you guys to enjoy and have a super fun time when we start dancing, get loose, do your thing. And then the last thing is that we are expecting you all to have a good time.